What's up, everybody? Let's go feed some cows. A little early today, but it's cold out. Y'all been out there in the old western New York? This is what we're looking at today. It was 50 degrees yesterday. Now it's 15 degrees and snowing. It's been snowing for a while. Got a couple of things up there. Send me a heart. We'll go find a chicken we like. So we're gonna get the calves food made up here and go feed the calves. I started feeding the pigs and everything already, just because it's cold out and I'm not gonna try to hold everything. So let's get going. All right, let's see what we got here. Looks like somebody's hungry. We got all this straw here yesterday when it was nice out. Over my uncle. It had a couple of broken strings on the bale for him. He sells it. Can't sell it without the strings, so he give all this to us. It's enough for a while here. I don't know why he does that. He likes to play. So these guys fed. It's Cheech and Chong, the cows here, Jersey cross cows. That's what they are here. So we gotta feed him. I wasn't doing much here. Gotta hold this bucket for him. A little bit more in there. There we go. We got our piggies here. These guys are fat and happy here. Yeah, so we got this got all these bales, so 5 bales, these super square bales of straw. I don't know if you can tell how big they are here. So, I mean, they're huge bales of straw there. Yeah, these pigs here enjoying their dinner. This is our tractor here. So we got the calves fed. What we're going to do next, we got this as hay over here. Usually we give a couple of patties to the pigs here. So we'll get going on that. Set up here for that. Okay. Those pigs there. Put some more of that hay. And these pigs here. Alright. So these guys are eating that hay. That pen's closed off because they don't need it. Being the winter time, they'll all be nice and close together. Don't need a lot of space. Got our bunny over here. Here he's got food. Got to give him a little more hay here. Check this here. Got a little setup for that, so let me just set up there. Got the string here. And we'll take that, make a loop. So we got a nice loop. And we'll put that around our hay. There. We've got a nice little hanging hay basket. Put that in here. Put that through the cage. Like so. He's got a little bit of grain, he's got his water, now he's got his hay. And then we'll just take this end. We'll just put that around here like that. So there you go. That's good enough for what we're doing here. Let me tie this up just like something like that, just to keep it from flopping around. There. So, little hanging hay basket for your bunnies, your rabbits. Didn't do anything special, we just took a piece of twine, put that on there, and now we've got that there set up so that we can keep the hay up in the air for them. Works pretty good. I'll put the straw down on the ground here. I did not spill it. I did that on purpose. With all that rain we had and everything, the ground is really soft. Putting straw down, that keeps us from sinking in. Kind of gives us like a little barrier to keep the mud from sucking through there. You can see if I move, see how muddy that is. Keep the straw on it, keeps it from sinking in. We gotta rinse out our calf bucket here. Get that going. A little water in there, maybe. There we go. Put that to the pigs. That's pretty good. So we got a ice cream cone. So anybody's got ice cream cones, I'm gonna pin that up there. See if anybody wants to send some ice cream cones that wants me to collect some ice cream. I got 15 minutes for them. Take a look at the piggies here. Let's see if we're gonna get this set up. See if I can't figure out how to do this here. So, put this over here. Okay, there we go. So we're going to talk a little bit about pigs today, if anybody's wondering. So what we have here is we have a bunch of Mangalitsa pigs, potbelly pigs, some Juliana pigs, and they are all, I would say, heritage breed is kind of what they call them. They're an older breed. They are not necessarily your run-of-the-mill feeder pigs. Feeder pigs are going to run you, they are, I wouldn't say they're crossbred, but feeder pigs are like meat chickens. Anybody that's ever had meat chickens knows they grow real fast. That's the idea. You want them to grow up fast and send them to market. So we don't do that. We have heritage breed pigs. So these Mangalistas that we have, especially, they take about 2 years to finish out to get them to market weight. They are a heritage Hungarian breed is where they're from. They are real cold weather pigs. They like the weather. They don't mind. They like to dig a lot. So if you're careful with where you put them, they will tear it up. If you like, you're putting in the garden, you put them, pasture them off in your garden where you want to put your garden next year, and they will tear all that up kind of like a rototiller and get that all set up for you. So you don't have to rototiller it. So we've got them in this pen here. We've got a pair of them, females. Those ones are going to be our breeding stock, as they call it. So get them out going. Got a bunch of stuff. We're getting towards the goals there, you know. So everybody, if you send me some ice cream cones, send me a couple of hearts there. We'll go check out the chickens. So these two pigs here, this black one is a landrace crossed with a Mangalitsa. She is one of our breeding gilts that'll be bred here, and this girl here, she's a purebred Mangalitsa. You'll notice a big difference in their snouts. Got real long snouts, almost like a wild boar. The other one there, she's got a shorter snout, like a standard, what they call a English pig. But real good looking pigs for what we're going to do. We're going to be breeding them here. Hopefully March, sometime in there, we're going to try to get some them bred with our other ones outside. Got a pair of male Mangalista boars. They're about a year old. And what they're eating today here, they've got some cabbage, got some cheese and some dog food, and apparently she's bored and wants to chew on the string there. Doing pretty good. So I like these pigs. I've had all kinds of different ones. These Mangalistas I really particularly like. They seem to do a lot better with the cold weather. They don't care too much about it. And then these here, if anybody's interested in some pets, these are Juliana's. They're miniature pigs. Their mother's in the back there. Looks like her babies are getting their lunch there. But they only get about 60 pounds, I would say, give or take. So they're about halfway to full grown right now. And same thing again, they're pretty hardy animals. See, they've got them in there. We're doing good there. If I pronounced this wrong, Menagiri Farms. Is that how you say it? Correct me if I'm wrong. I apologize. Thanks for coming by and saying hi. We're doing good here. Where are you guys located? We're out in New York here, upper western New York area. So, western New York, we're 2 hours or so from Niagara Falls. Central New York. Okay, so you loving the weather too then. Got our wonderful 4-season week here this week. We've got spring, summer, fall, and winter all to one. So they're pretty good. You can see her back there. She's nursing her piglets. I don't want to interrupt them too much, but I leave them right with the mother and let them self-wean. It seems to work better. I don't know if anybody does that, but yeah, spring weather. You ain't kidding. This is it's not bad. I can't complain. If anybody's from New York, this has been a nice winter at least. So at least up here we haven't had 7 feet of snow yet. So. I got the hay over here. We'll be getting some more hay. I've got some round bales we'll probably be getting. So we try to get everything either cheap or free here, being a homestead. It's tough to do. I get it. We both have full-time jobs and we're still doing it, but it's not terrible. The nice thing with being located where we're at is we have a very large farming community here in this area of New York. This is probably one of the biggest as far as like when you look at everything, I would say compared to Wisconsin or somewhere like that. We have probably second to Wisconsin. I'm not sure off the top of my head what the ranking is, but we're pretty close to Wisconsin in terms of dairy production. Dairy production for Wisconsin is #1 in the U.S. But this area, everybody says, "Oh, you're from New York. You must be from the city." Well, that's only a little tiny speck in the map for us. We most of us are out here doing the farm stuff in the rest of New York like this. And so with our homestead, like I said, we get everything cheap or free. So I work with all these different places. All this hay, this came from a person who raises horses. And there's nothing really wrong with the hay as far as, quality-wise. It is a late season cutting, so it's not nice, real terribly clean. But it's still green, and it's got some nutrients to it. And that's all we need for what we're feeding. Cows are pretty good with it. So, dairy technician. Oh, that's cool. I was almost a dairy technician, I guess you would call it, but in the maintenance side of things. So we get into a little bit different, more on the tractor side. That's where I'm at there. So, if I had to, I could take that thing apart, put it back together, probably in my sleep. Not necessarily particular to John Deere, but That's they had the best price at the time. So, but we've got them here, and then we'll go outside. It's gonna be noisy. I don't know if it's real windy out, but we'll look at them other pigs. So cheap or free, that's the way to do it. Got that hay from the hay farmer. Got that straw in there from my uncle. He sells. He's got a dairy farm. They've got a robot now. If anybody's ever seen a robot milking machine, but we've got their feed trough here. These guys are all hiding up in their sheds here. We get these from a place. They get a bunch of stuff shipped in, and they're huge crates. So, I mean, that's a pallet on top. These are 5 by 8, I think. They're about 3 foot tall, and these guys just love them here. So, oh, they work on it lately. Okay, so he knows all about them. So you see, we've got our pigs in here. There's a mama and her piglets in there. These ones are crossbred. So these are potbelly. The mother is potbelly, and then they're crossbred to those Mangalista boars. And so we've got a bunch of these crossbred potbelly Mangalistas, which will work out well. I don't know if anybody's in this one here, but we'll see here. Yeah, so that's our potbelly boar. That's Bacon. He's literally named Bacon. He is about 7 or 8 years old now. He's getting up there with his girl there, Big Mama. You can see she's about twice the size that he is. Now we can get in. There we go. So they're pretty much a mated pair. They've been here. We got her about last year, and we've had him for a while now. But he's probably too old to breed now, but he still likes his woman, and they're pretty good about being a mated pair, so we leave them be. They hang out together. I don't know if anybody's in here. Nope. So here we go. We can see inside of these pens. You know, this is just perfect for raising pigs because they're not real big. They're easy to move. They're on a skid. Just pick it up with the tractor, move it around, and we got them for free. Same with our fence here. So all this, I've got all these pallets, concrete place in town. They're real particular about their pallets that they get, and they literally just throw them out all the time. And then we had to buy like that's a cattle panel, but over in this pen here, we've got our Juliana boar there. He's about 1.5 years, 2 years old. And then these boys here, these are the big guys. These are our Mangalista boars. You can see how they've got that particular long snout, big ears, and they're real curly hair. So they're almost like, I would say, a lot of people say the Highland cattle of the pig world. And this is another freebie, more pallets, and got some trusses we found somebody throwing out. I mean, they wouldn't be good for anything else, but we just cut them in half and stuck them under there. Put that pallet up on top there, and then there's shingles nailed to it that we got. They like hanging out here as that, so works pretty good for them because they enjoy being out here in the weather. They're not too concerned about the wind and the snow. We do got the shed obviously to keep them in there, and then they'll go in and hide in the back of that shed there. It gets real bad. Got this waterer here in between them. I had a nice heated waterer, but you know, pigs are pigs, so they ate the cord off of that, so we had to get rid of that. So not terrible, but you can see how, you know, it's 14 degrees out, and being in New York is crazy. So yeah, goat barn. So we do goats too. Not right now, but in the springtime, in the 4-H, we do the market goats and the dairy program, all the good stuff. So got the junk line up there, the old trucks. This one here, this what's left of this one, this is a Ford Ranger. We had gotten an accident with the other one, bought this one, and we cut the top off of this one. The top of this cab was good. You can see the doors. The other truck's orange, but got in an accident, smashed it up. So we just cut the lid off that one and the windshield and put it on the other one. And then, you know, I think we stole some rear end parts out of that. This here, the old Chevy, the old plow truck. We had that one there. That's not bad, but we got that one for a couple cheap. That was the old farm truck there, and I really wasn't broke, but I had a guy called me up and said, hey, I really need a big block motor, and I've got money, and so it worked out for me. I was able to, already in the process of getting a different truck that I had purchased to replace this one, so took the motor out of this one here, sold that, and helped pay for the new truck. And in the meantime, got all the leftovers. It's a nice interior wise, you know, that's pretty decent. So if anybody's looking for parts, so dairy goats looking to get meat goat crosses. Yeah, meat goats are fun. I don't know how curious, George, your dairy goats are, but our meat goats that we run, man, they can be a handful sometimes. They are really nice animals, but man, do they get into everything. So, and this is what we call the Taj McChicken here. So we moved to South Carolina for a little while, didn't like it, came back to New York to start living back up here. I know everybody's like, oh, you're doing that, but you know what? There's a lot to be said about when you grow up here and the seasons and everything. So this camper, was our home for about 6 or 7 months, and somebody gave this to us to live in and said, well, you have to take it with you. We can't take it back. We don't want no money for it, but it's not coming back. The back end's pretty shot, you know. It wasn't this bad when we were living in it. It's only been about 1.5 years, but you see this is the back of the bunk area there. So that's all. I ran it into the tree, so that's not anybody else. But you know what? We said, well, what are we gonna do with it? Got some chickens. We need a place to put chickens. I don't really want to buy a chicken coop, so hey, you know what? We'll just put them in this here camper, and they absolutely love it. I don't have too much problems cleaning it out wise. Got some holes punched in the floor where the vents used to be. We just scrape it out and clean it in springtime, but you know, took some doors off the stuff, and we've got all the chickens hanging out there. They're happy as can be. They don't mind it at all. So we've got these guys here. We got a pair of Jersey Giants. And then up in the top there's some Leghorns. There's a Astrolop hiding around the corner there. There's some Orpingtons up there, a couple of crossbreeds, and then we've got some more of these here Orpingtons, Astrolops. We've got some Olive Eggers, some Easter Eggers. We've got some Rhodesians. We've got more Orpingtons up top there, and we've got some. There's some, I think they're Bar Rock crosses. You can see some of these girls here. Real pretty. They've got that like a Rhode Island red with the barred rock black razors in them. Real nice, but mainly Astrolops and Orpingtons is what we have. They seem to do okay on the egg production. We will be getting rid of some of these roosters here at some point. So, #1 viewer for Passage Ray. That's cool. How you doing? Nice to stop by. So, we got the rooster doing his thing there with the hen. But yeah, we get all these here, and what we'll do is we'll collect their eggs here, and we eat them obviously, but I have really good results with getting fertilized eggs out of these here roosters. So that's why I have quite a few more roosters than normal, because I am able to incubate their eggs, and we get about, believe it or not, about a 95% success rate out of our incubator. I don't know how many people incubate their own eggs to get their own production up, but we do, and we did about 40 or 50 eggs last year. We've got an incubator that holds, I think it holds 40. It might hold 40, 56, something like that. But most of these here, smaller Orpingtons, and some of these, we've got the up top there, the crossbred Orpington Leghorns. All of those chickens come out of our stock that we had already, and we just incubated all the eggs in our incubator, and we only had out of the whole incubator, we filled it right up. Out of the whole thing, we only had 3 eggs that either they didn't hatch or they were stillborn. So I got me another egg here. So these are Orpingtons. You can see the egg's a little bit smaller, but these are the crossbred Orpington from the Leghorns there. And we've got the what they call the blue Orpingtons right there. So they look kind of gray, but chickens can see about 60% more colors than we can. So what we see looks pretty. They see is like almost neon. And that's a gray one there. You see a little bit different coloration in them, but them lighter gray ones are considered blue Orpingtons. And that's our Leghorn rooster there. They do pretty good. So we do have a lot of Leghorns, but I like these Jersey Giants. I'm gonna hope that we can get something out of them this year. They're real great big huge chicken. You know, there's another Leghorn. Leghorns are small chickens, but they do actually lay. These here, mostly what you get in the store, these large whites. So we've got a little bit of everything, but again, these were all free. We did not pay for our chickens. We got on the internet and we looked around, and people said, "Oh yeah, I got chickens. I don't want chickens. I can't take care of them. Somebody come get them," whatever it be. And so we went around and collected them. You know, like I said, now we've paid for some of these things here, but like this trailer, obviously, and stuff like that. But nothing too crazy. Try to do everything at the low price there. And you know, I've got this here. So this is dog food, yes, and it looks very expensive, I understand. But we here in Western New York, we have a business that actually they are like a reclaim. They take this dog food and then they just resell it as cattle feed. There's nothing really wrong with it. I don't know all the details, but what I do know is, because I actually used to work for this company, is what they do is they'll take that dog food and they'll pasteurize it in a heating process where they heat it up, and then if you they have this kibbled product, which is just in the bag. The way I get it works better for pigs, but they will grind it down into a fine powder, almost like soy meal, and they call that pet food fines, and you can feed that to any non-ruminant animal that you need to feed. The really nice benefit about it is price-wise. So this here, I've got what's on top here. This freezer is, or refrigerator, that's what we use for food storage, again for free. That's full. This refrigerator again here, both of them are, well, this side's empty, but these are full. That whole freezer is full, and that's all just dog food. And it's cheap, it's effective, it's easy to store. And the best part is, when you're raising hogs, all of this dog food runs about 20 to 30% protein, and a pig needs about 16% protein. So you end up saving costs on your feed, because we're not trying to feed out by weight. A lot less feed we're feeding out by weight, probably half or less of what the normal ratio would be when you feed animals. Specifically in pigs, that's kind of what I know. We feed them, it's a 4-to-1 ratio. So for every 4 pounds of food that you can feed the animal of quality food, the animal's going to gain 1 pound of weight for your market. With this, it's about a 2-to-1 ratio because it's higher protein, higher fat. So I'm getting all the benefits of everything that they need, and then I am saving money on the cost of that food because that's about $2.25 a ton, I think, is the going rate. Don't quote me; it changes. It's market, but it was $2.25 a ton when I bought it here a couple weeks ago, and that'll last me on 25 head of pigs. I'm going to get about a month and change out of that. So if we filter that out, you know, we're pretty cheap there. We're looking at, give or take, only needing to feed out about, math in my head here. Hold on. 10-ish pounds of feed for the month for these guys, give or take, if you math it out. Really, really cost effective for what it is. And then, of course, you know, we do purchase store-bought, you know, grains and such. So this is our cattle storage here. This is just another freebie. Somebody was, I don't know where it came from. It's a crate. It's pretty well built. It's insulated. Not that it matters, but it's a real nice crate. It's got this tapered lip on it here. It's got the latches. All I'm trying to do is keep the mice and stuff out, but this is our cattle bin here. We got to keep that separate. We don't want any of this. We don't want any of that getting crossed with our pigs, and it's not for the pig's sake, it's for the cattle's sake. The cows cannot, the ruminant animals, even goats too, they cannot have that dog food. That dog food has different proteins and stuff in it, and it will not allow them to process because ruminant have the 4-chamber stomach. So we keep these separated here. We have a separate scooper. We have that scooper and those buckets. All that over there is for the pigs. And this bin right here with this scoopers and everything and like that such. These are particular to the cattle. We do not want to crossbreed any of that because we could get our cattle sick. They can't handle that dog food. So we got that. I've got our calf replacer here. Anybody's feeding bottle calves, you know that stuff is just ridiculously expensive. So that's $120, I think, $120 bag of calf milk replacer in there. It's not cheap. So, but cattle market right now, nothing's cheap in the cattle market. So we got a good deal. The calves that we bought here recently, they are Jersey crossbred calves. At least that's what we're thinking they are. Got Cheech and Chong there, so they're not the same age. Cheech is about 14 weeks old, so what was that, 3.5 months here. And then Chong, the little guy here, he's only about 5 weeks old. You see at the beginning there we were feeding them. So, but there's supposedly they're Jersey cross, based on what I see growing up on the dairy farm and everything with the animals. I would put Chong here or Cheech here. He looks slightly crossbred. He's probably not purebred Jersey, just because of his coloration here and his hair and his. You can see he's got some black under him, so he could be crossed with an Angus. He could be crossed with a Hereford. It's kind of hard to say. Man, he likes to scratch us all, so. But pretty good looking cows, you know, nice and healthy. They've got free access there. We got water and a little bit of grain, and then a bale of that hay there. They've got free choice to eat. And then we feed him twice a day. Right now he gets about a gallon of that milk replacer all together. So I see Jeremy's on. Hi, Jeremy. Aren't you supposed to be working, Jeremy? I'm going to call you out. Everybody will know. So, but yeah, he's just loving on that there. So, and now we do what they call deep litter, I guess you would call that. That's what I call it a bed pack, but they call it deep litter bedding, penning. Um, Basically, that's just dirt underneath the straw there. And then there's probably half of one of these super square straw bales in there. For reference here, I'm standing on the ground here, and you can see kind of at the bottom there's about 8 inches of that straw in there. And I've got that set up like that because that provides them the warmth they need, keeps them happy, keeps them clean too. They're going to the bathroom in here, but get a lot of cows in I don't know what you would call a kind of bedding style, but a light bedding, and they'll get a lot of dingleberries, as they call them, on the back end there, where their manure will stick and clot up on the back of their fur, especially on their hinds, when they're going to the bathroom when they poop. And these guys with the deep bedding, that doesn't seem to happen as much. It seems to keep them a lot cleaner. So we like to do that. They'll end up outside eventually here in the springtime, but right now, being with the weather, we keep them in here. So we've got them in there. It does pretty good. And these are for us here at this property. This is our first and second calves that we purchased together. Got a good deal on them for the cattle market, $600 for the pair, so not too bad. Going rates runs about $600 a piece on them calves. But the big plan long term here is we're started here with that. We've got a couple of them, just for now. This guy here, he's still a bull. He will not be banded, so he's going to stay a bull. The big guy has been banded, so castration is what banding is. He has been castrated, banded, and castrated. So he'll be dinner eventually. The little guy here, he's going to be production. So what we're going to get out of him, the idea here is that when my daughter gets her dairy heifer, or female, she will get her, and we'll keep them and raise them up in about 2 years. So it's 2 years to where they're mature enough to breed, and then hopefully we'll be able to let them do their thing nature's way, and we'll get a calf out of her heifer, and then we'll have a cow, and that'll give us another replacement to the 2 that we've got, so we can eat the one and have the other. And if it keeps going the way we'd like it to go, and we get a calf every year or so, that gives us either the option to sell that animal, increase our herd size, or get more meat, depending on what we decide to do with the animal. But the idea is that we're going to get 2 for now. We've got the pigs. I'm very familiar with the pigs, been doing them for a while, but cattle, I grew up on the farm doing that. That my uncle runs there. We talk about the robot and everything. So start with them. We'll hopefully put up another barn here. Maybe this year. We've got a bunch of lumber. Got a smoking deal at an auction for a bunch of lumber. So I've potentially have the opportunity to build up to a 72-foot long by however wide we decide barn with what we've got. We'll see how it goes, but right now, this is what we've got here, this plastic building. This is just a, eBay special, I think. I'm not sure. I think I got it off eBay, but it's just a canvas barn. Pipe frame, nothing crazy. I think this run me about $3,000 off the internet. It does the job. All we're looking for is dry. Warm is nice to have, but warm is not necessary for these pigs and cows. They much more important that they are dry and out of the weather. You get them out in the wind and the rain. It's doable. Obviously, that's how a lot of them are raised, but it's much better for them to be dry. Keeps them healthier, and you don't have to worry so much about the health of the animal because they're in a nice dry spot. So we've got them all in here, and this is 30 foot wide, 40 feet long. So what is that? 15 by 15 meters wide by approximately 18 meters long for all the metric folk out there, and it's about 17 feet tall, which would be 16 meters tall, I think, if I'm doing the math right. Or not 16, I'm sorry, that's way off. 13, right? Three in there. So 12 meters tall, let's call it. I apologize for the folks out there using the metric system there. I'm not real good at the metric conversion, but it's about 17 feet tall, 30 feet wide, and 40 foot long. Ideally, what we would have here is when we build the new barn, I'm kind of going to go for the same size, just it's going to be longer and possibly wider. I'd like to shoot for 40 feet wide overall. Right now, it's a little tight in here. We've got the pens on either side, tractor down the middle. And the big thing that we're missing is that I do not have overhead storage because this is just a clear span building. So what we're shooting for is a building that's going to have a downstairs and an upstairs. And that'll give us a place to store, all the straw, any of the feed that we have. We'll try to put that upstairs and design some chutes and such so that when we go to feed our animals, we can just go along the side, open the chute, give them a little feed, and carry on. Now, the nice thing with pigs is that pigs are what they call free choice. So I can feed these pigs as much as I want, and these pigs will not overeat. They'll eat a lot, but they won't overeat. They like to choose and pick what they get for food, and they'll just go along and eat what they want and leave the rest and come back later and get a little more. You got people that have horses, you can't just feed them like that. So yeah. So, all right, everybody. Well, I've got to carry on to the next thing. So, well, thank you for stopping by. And usually what we'll do here is we try to shoot for 4:30 every day. This is a little early. It might be 3 o'clock. We'll see how it goes. But we'll put up a live, try to just go through everything we're doing here. Keep following along. I appreciate it. If anybody would like to help donate to our new barn, we do have a GoFundMe. If you like and follow, we can get on there. I have the link in the bio on the page, and I'd be more than graciously to accept the anything you can help to support build our new barn for these animals. We'll catch you guys all tomorrow.